Hey everybody, Toni Craft here. Would you like to drink out of a chalice or goblet like the queen that you are? Well, I'm going to show you how to DIY a chalice, goblet, whatever you want to call it, like this, but a little bit different. This one I started on a whim and I said, you know what, I'm going to make a video. So what you need is a plain old wine glass. I'm using Gilding Flakes. These ones are just something I ordered on Amazon. It's a multicolor to look like mixed metals. And I'll show you here. They're very pretty in person, very sparkly. And to gild, you're going to need some paintbrushes that you don't mind getting glue on, and then some sort of glue. I'm using Mod Podge. I wish I hadn't have used matte, so get the shiny one. Here's my Mod Podge, and I am just going to put some on the glass. Now, in a lot of gilding tutorials, it says to let the glue or whatever you're using dry so that it's still tacky but not wet. I have actually found with Mod Podge that it's better to do it when it's still wet, because once it dries, it does not stick anymore. So you can see it cleared up a little bit. And then I also forgot to tell you, it's much easier to do this with a pair of tweezers. And of course, because I don't follow the rules, I'm using my good tweezers for my eyebrows in this project. So I'm just going to search for a flake. I'm trying to find some big ones for this project and place it on. There's different techniques to this. You can sort of drag it across the surface until it grabs, or you can just brush it on like I'm doing. And you're basically just going to keep doing this until you have the shape or size or what have you that you want. On the first one that I showed in the beginning of the video, I did multiple layers over a couple of weeks because I really wanted a thickened real metal look. On this one, I'm going to go do things a little bit differently, so I'm just doing a shape. I'm going to try to make it sort of look like a geode. Okay, and then once that's been left to dry for a while, you can actually rub it. You can do this with your finger or a piece of fabric. And rubbing it takes off any piece of the gilding that did not touch glue is going to flake off. And the rest of it's just going to smooth out. Pretty. Alright, so I'm showing here that I used a metallic gold paint on the base of the first wine glass, which actually looks amazing on the bottom of the wine glass through the glass. Now I'm going to do that again with this glass, and I'm actually going to use it up on the cup of the wine glass as well. I'm just using that same brush. You will need to do a couple of coats of this paint, but the good news is that it dries very quickly, so you can actually do a couple coats kind of in one sitting. You just wait sort of a couple minutes between each one. So you can see here I have done a large sort of paint stripe on my cup all the way down and left the rest blank. Kind of a modern take. And now I'm just going to fill in some of the places where I think it needs a little bit more oomph. So either the gilding flakes flaked off in certain areas, or it's just not laid thick enough to really make a difference. So I decided to do a little bit of glitter on this. Again, I was trying to make it sort of look like a geode. This was the only glitter I had in the house, so it is what it is. I do think it came out pretty though with the big glitter, and you'll see at the end what that ended up looking like. But basically I just spot glued around where I wanted a little bit of glitter and placed it on and let it dry. Okay, and now this is another step that you may or may not have to do. I'm just using a nice thin acrylic to go around the shape of what my sort of geode slice is going to look like. I'm using a pewter color, which it wasn't as dark as I would have liked. I may end up in the long run going back over this one more time and adding some darker lines, but it is what it is. And then I finished it off with a top coat. You can use any kind of top coat that you are familiar or comfortable with. I personally went with a spray paint top coat, and I hit it maybe 2 or 3 times pretty quickly, and that's what it looked like. I should have taped off the rest of the glass because the top coat made the rest of the glass sort of hazy. So next time I do this, I'll definitely tape it off so that you have a nice clear glass. But all in all, I think it came out pretty cool. I definitely wouldn't mind drinking out of this wine glass. It's pretty. It's exciting. And here they are finished together. So I hope if you guys decide to make one of these that you'll let me know. Send me a picture or comment below. If you haven't already, if you could subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. And if you hit the little bell, you'll be notified every time I post a video. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers!